We are joined this evening by two dogs, which you do not need for the class, but if you have spare ones walking all over you, they're in good company. So what you're going to need for this evening, for your class this evening is, and I'll give you a couple of minutes to go and get something just in case you don't have them there. So a yoga belt, if you have a yoga belt, or I'm using tonight the strap or the belt from dressing gown, but a necktie would do, or a scarf, anything that's just going to be long enough to get your foot into and have a bit of leverage. I have a couple of cushions, so you might want a couple of cushions or a couple of pillows, and I have a few blankets. So if you just bring kind of any week that we're doing it like this, just stuff really to prop yourself up with in the absence of actual props. And if you have blocks and you have bolsters and that sort of thing, then just have them out. I'm just not using them because most people don't have them at home, so I'm trying to come up with homemade versions of it. So let me know, actually unmute yourselves and let me know if you have that stuff, or I'll pause the recording here for a minute. So if you want to find yourself a nice comfortable lying position, just so that you're nice and warm and relaxed. If you want to pop your bolster under your knees, that can be nice for relieving any lower body discomfort, particularly in the lower back. If you have some pillows or cushions, you can pop them under the knees in lieu of bolsters, or a rolled up blanket might be helpful as well. And if you have something like a blanket to cover yourself, turn down the lights or have as much light, only as much light as you need, so that you can come to rest and you can come to relax. And then take a moment or two just to settle yourself, just to ground yourself a little bit more fully into your space. And check in. How are you doing right now? How are you feeling right now? How are you after your day? So it's a crazy world out there at the moment. We're all getting used to temporary but very different living conditions and social norms, and it's upsetting and it's stressful and it's taking its toll. So this is an opportunity really to step out of some of that external chaos for the next little while. Just a chance to calm, to quiet, and to really tune back in to yourself, to find the breath and use the body and breath as a little way to try to just remind us how to self-soothe, how to connect, and to calm. So just take a moment or two, if you haven't already done so, to find your breath. Just to notice where your breath is moving into the body. Notice where the breath is leaving. So are you breathing through your nose, or are you breathing through your mouth? And if it's possible to breathe through the nostrils, we encourage that, just for a nice long, clean, more cleansing breath. But if that's causing any distress, if you have a cold, then please breathe through the mouth. And allow your mind to notice the coming and the going of your breath. Allow your mind to notice the breath as it's moving in and the breath as it's moving out. Relax your jaw. Soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relax the forehead and the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing the scalp and allowing the entire face to just let go of any tension, any holding on, any worries that you might be holding in your muscles in the face, particularly the jaw and the forehead. Relaxing your neck, your shoulders, softening the chest, front and back, softening around the abdomen, above and below the navel. Noticing the length and the side of the body as the breath comes and goes. And allowing that pelvic region, the pelvis, the hips, the glutes, just to release fully to the mat, to commit fully to the earth and release out, let go a little. Let the legs be heavy, letting any tension in the thighs, front or back, dissolve down into the mat. Letting any tension in the knees, around the knees, the space behind the knees release out. Calves releasing, shins releasing. And the feet, the ankles, the soles, tops of the feet and all of the toes letting go. Just noticing how your legs are resting, just as information. There's no right or wrong, just how does your lower body like to release out, to let go. Relaxing the arms, so releasing at the biceps, the elbows, the forearms, wrists and hands, and all of your fingers. Letting the entire body rest in stillness. So stillness is what it wants. If it feels like it wishes to move, if there's anything you'd like to adjust, please do so that you can be comfortable. And otherwise committing yourself to the space. So the space is here for you for the next little while to release, to relax, to let go. Space is here so that you can surrender any cares, worries, concerns. Space is here for you to give yourself a little time, just for you, to quieten, just to move away from those external pressures that we face and to have a little time for yourself. As the moments pass, just allow the breath to become a little longer, slower, deeper, fuller. Noticing the dance between body and breath. As the breath moves in, there's that gentle expansion in the chest and in the sides of the body. There's a movement outwards at the front and the back of the body. And as you exhale, there's that softening, that quietening movement back to center again. Allow your awareness to follow that for a breath or two. The movement in and the movement out. And let that gentle dance, that gentle rhythmic movement be soothing and grounding. Allow yourself to tune into the sound of the breath as it comes and goes. So the sound of the breath as it makes its way into the body, but maybe more importantly, the sound of the breath as it leaves. So when the breath releases, whether you're sighing or you're just releasing as usual through the nose or the mouth, there's that sort of echoey seashell quality, tone. And it can be really soothing for the body, it can be really soothing for the mind, just to tune into that. In the same way that listening to waves on the beach, waves breaking on the rocks, can be very grounding and soothing. It's very much like the sound that we hear when we're in the womb. It's very much the sound that our mind hears when we're asleep. When all else is silent, the body is still and the body is quiet, it's the sound of the breath, particularly the breath as it leaves, that we tune into. So it can be a really stilling, calming sound to tune into. And I invite you to take a moment now to set a sankalpa, set an intention for your practice this evening. What would you like, or how would you like your practice to support you? What is it that you need on a personal level, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, maybe even spiritually right now, to keep you feeling connected to yourself and to others? to keep you feeling calm and grounded and hopeful, to keep you in the present moment so that you don't fly too far into the future with things that are unknown and that we can't yet predict. But to be able to do that with a sense of hope that the future is brighter, that we won't always be in the challenging phase that we're in now. So to be rooted, like the roots of a tree, when we feel solid and grounded and earthed, and then to be able to reach for those leaves at the very top of the tree. I can see out into the distance and see the light and see the sunshine that we can't yet see. So for now, just tuning into your sense of connection, your sense of being rooted, being earthed, being grounded in the present moment, and allowing your breath to be the thing that anchors you. Allowing your breath and maybe the sound of that breath as it comes and goes, particularly the out breath, to be your anchor. So allow your intention, your sankapa, to be really just naming what you need for yourself, what you want for yourself, within the possibilities of what's available to us. So we all want something and need something different than what we can actually have right now. But what do you need to help you through this time? To help you to accept where we are, to help you to feel grounded in it, and just to move through it one day at a time, or 1 hour at a time, or one breath at a time, whatever you need. As you continue to take nice, long, deep, slow breaths, I just want you to imagine as you inhale, normally when we inhale, we send breath to the base of our lungs, and that is what offers us that lovely expansion of the navel, that expansion of the belly area. Imagine as you inhale that you're sending the breath all of the way down to your feet, all of the way down to the soles of the feet, energetically. It's not going to actually go there, but just imagine that that's the breath washing through you, through every fibre of your being. So almost as though it's coming in through the crown of your head and it's washing through your entire body. Washing over every cell, every part of you. And the inhalations, as you're breathing in this way or visualizing in this way, are calling in all that support you, your intentions and all of the qualities that will support you at this time. And they're carrying strength into you and flexibility, balance, ease, peace, humor, whatever it is that will support you at this time. And imagine that your exhalations you might want to visualize them flowing out through your feet, or maybe washing back up through the body and just carrying and collecting up any cares, worries, tensions, concerns, frustrations, any attachments to things being a particular way. And I know that's something I've really struggled with in the last few days, despite all my efforts to be mindful and grounded. I still want things to be different. There's a particular way I want things to be, and I have really struggled to accept that for now that's not possible. And that's, I imagine, going to be an hourly challenge for me until eventually maybe I just surrender a little bit more. But I do find my breath helps me with that. I find when I can anchor back into my breath and just breathe a little bit more fully and a little bit more deeply, I'm better able to let go, better able to get perspective, and I'm better able to trust that just for now, things are different. That will change. It might get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. So just allow your breath to be a source of helping to carry you, blow you, or take you, whatever it might be, from moment to moment, until some of those current challenges start to resolve a little. So I'm going to invite you to take 3 nice, long, deep, slow, full breaths, sighing breaths together. I think we'll invite the shoulders in because it's always a deeper release when we do that. So as you inhale, just bring the shoulders up towards your ears and then release them back behind you and let go. So that the breath leaves the body with a little bit of energy. Inhale a nice full breath again through your nostrils if you're able, or your mouth if you need to. Roll the shoulders back behind you and then drop them down towards the waist. Let the breath release with sigh, with voice. And again, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, rolling them back behind you, releasing them towards your waist. And then letting go. We're going to take a couple of nice stretches together. So as you inhale, and if you have any tight blankets or anything that's too firmly around you at the moment, you might just want to release them out a little bit. And as we inhale, we're going to tip the toes away. Take a nice full inhalation, bring the arms back behind you. And when you exhale, just let everything relax, let everything just release out where it is. So your arms might come around the side of the body, they might come back alongside your waist, they might stay back behind you, let the legs just roll out. Notice the difference there between activation, energy, and letting go. Bring the arms back alongside the body, tip the toes away, and as you inhale, take the fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling and right back behind you. And when you exhale, soften again. Let the arms relax and release. Let them roll around to wherever they want to come to, let the legs relax. Again, notice the difference between holding on and letting go. Notice what it's like just to release and surrender a little. As you inhale, lengthen, take the arms back, tip the toes away. And this time as you exhale, tip your heels away, toes back towards your chest, and bring your fingertips towards your waist, and then all the way down towards the hips. When you reach just about the point of the hips, you can let everything go and let the body release out again. And then we're going to have one more stretch in that way. So tip the toes away, lengthen back behind you with the arms. Nice long breath. Exhale, heels move away, toes move back towards the chest, fingers move towards the thighs, and then everything just releases out. Everything just lets go. Notice what it's like there again, the difference between holding on and letting go. And then I just invite you to take your knees, bend the knees, take the thighs towards the belly, hold on to the shins. You can wrap the hands around and have a little rock there from side to side. And a nice little massage here for the vertebrae. Nice little release out for the body. And then see about bringing the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Flexing the feet, bring the knees wide, so coming in towards a happy baby pose here. Taking the hands onto the feet and then just inviting the thighs down towards the belly, on either side of the belly, having a breath or two with that. I'm just going to turn on a little bit more light here. So coming into our happy baby kick here. If you can't reach the feet or the toes, hold on to the ankles or wherever you can, or even the backs of the thighs. You want to invite the fronts of the thighs close to the belly. Have a little bit of a rock there from side to side, just to massage out the back. This is your happy baby rock. It's also an inverted pose, so you don't need to worry about that. There's nobody else around you. Enjoy, let it rock, and then we bring a kick into it. So stretching out one leg at a time. Lengthening one leg, allowing that to bring the shoulder forwards. Allowing that to just release the legs up towards the ceiling, release the shoulders towards the ceiling a little bit, and take that once more to either side. And then you can hold the hands behind your thighs, let the heels fall towards your bum. As you exhale, and again the thighs are wide of the belly so that you have space there to breathe. Flex your feet. Invite your thighs back. Use the hands to invite the thighs back towards the belly. And then push against your hands to create a resistance there. I'm getting a puppy kiss here. Push against the hands to create resistance so that you're bringing some engagement there into the arms and into the thighs. You feel the thighs warming up. And then exhale nice and slowly, bring the soles of the feet to the floor. And reach for your belt, whatever it is that you had, whether it's a yoga belt or your tie or whatever it is that you might be using. So I have a nice fleecy A nice fleecy thing here from the dressing gown. You're going to take that onto your, it doesn't really matter whether you go with right or left foot. I'm going with left foot at the moment because that's the side that's closest to the camera. So go whichever side you prefer to start with. And you just want to have room to, so if you're right beside a wall, just take a moment to move yourself away from it. Or else just turn yourself around in your mat so that you have space either side of the legs. We're going to push against, I have the band or the belt across from the ball of my big toe across to the little toe. I'm going to hold it in both hands. So one side, one hand on either side of the belt. Bend your knee and bring your hands as close to your foot, your big toe, as is comfortable for you. And then pressing through the heel, see about lengthening that hamstring. So keep the knee soft, keep a nice micro bend in the knee, don't block it. Bring the shoulder blades back to the floor. So slide the hands down as close to the waist as you need to have the shoulder blades on the floor with the arms straight. So if you have your elbows bent and too close to the floor, you're not really getting the same benefit here for the upper body. But you want to be comfortable. We're just going to, for a few breaths here, just lengthen out the hamstring. So if you point your toes, you lose the hamstring stretch. So if you want to lessen it, point your toes. Otherwise, press through your heel. As you exhale, maybe if you were able to or willing to strengthen it, and willing really just means that your body wants to or is happy to, invite your thigh back a little bit closer to your belly. So back into your pelvis. If it becomes too strong, either take a little bend into the knee, point the toes slightly, or take the thigh further away from you. So just modify that so that it's comfortable for you. But what we want to do is keep both sides of the pelvis and both of the shoulder blades on the floor here. We have one more breath here. And then you can take the band into, both sides of the band into the hand that's on the side of the extended leg. So it's my left leg that's extended, so I'm holding it in my left hand. Round about the knee, just below the knee. And as you inhale, keeping both of your glutes grounded, both of your hip bones at the back or both sides of the pelvis at the back and both of your shoulder blades, we're going to lengthen out to the side here. You can have your other leg, you can either have the knee bent or you can have the leg extended, whichever is more comfortable for you. So go as far as is comfortable for your inner thigh, whilst keeping both of your hips grounded. So if you start to, if I'm going to the left side, if I feel my right hip and glute lifting, I can get my foot practically to the floor, but I'm really coming out of the beneficial part of the pose because I'm not getting the stretch there from my inner thigh. Again, the knee is nice and soft here. Take a bend into the knee and bring the knee in towards, or bring the heel, excuse me, in towards your pelvis. And then you've got the band that you can just gently bring onto the inside of your thigh there, the inside of your knee, just to give you a little hip opener here, a supported hip opener, if that's comfortable for you. Soften away from it, move back from it if it's uncomfortable. So modify everything for your own comfort. Lengthen away with this leg again. And when you next inhale, we're going to nice and slowly bring the sole of that foot up towards the ceiling. And you'll need to extend your other leg now so that there's space to move across the pelvis. You're going to take the belt or the band into the opposite hand. And nice and slowly, as you exhale, you're going to stretch across. So you're continuing to look over my left shoulder because it's my left leg, as I bring the left leg across the body, across my pelvis, over my right leg. Press through the heel here again, so you feel a nice stretch along the outer, your IT band there, and on the outer side of that leg. And you can rotate the palm of the, so in my case, left hand towards the ceiling. If it's your right leg that you are moving with, it'll be the right hand. And just enjoy the twist there. Take a nice full inhalation as you take your head back towards center and nice and slowly glide that foot back towards center. And then we'll take the belt in either hand again. As you exhale, lengthen that foot nice and slowly with lots of support and lots of control to the floor. And then just take a moment to have a breath and to notice the difference between the right and left side. So I usually find after that is the side of the body I've moved feels quite energized, warm. I can feel the blood flowing. It's almost like I could feel that side of my brain and my face. And the other side feels a little bit sleepy in comparison. So we're going to take it to the other side. So I'm going to turn myself around on my mat so that I continue to move towards the camera, but you don't need to do that. So we're going to take the band onto the other foot. Start from the floor quite low down with that leg, and then press through the heel as you bring the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. And we're going to start with the hamstring stretch on this side. So a couple of things to remember: keep your pelvis grounded, both of your hips are grounded, both of your shoulder blades are grounded, so that you're not lifting the shoulders fully off the floor. You're maintaining some stability there for the shoulder joints. You hold as close to the foot as is comfortable. Take a bend into the knee and press through the heel to lengthen that hamstring. If you want to soften the hamstring stretch because it becomes uncomfortable, you can bend the knee, you can point the toes, or you can just bring the thigh a little further away from the belly. If you'd like to deepen it, bring the thigh back in towards the hip bone. Have a breath or two here, really pressing through the heel if you want that hamstring stretch, which is what we're targeting. But I don't know what your hamstrings have been doing today, I don't know how your legs are feeling today, so you need to decide what feels good for your body. And then we're going to take both sides of the belt into, in my case it's my right hand, just below the knee, and start to lengthen nice and slowly with lots of control out to the side. So the foot presses into the band and your hand is pulling back to stabilize you. If you feel like you're rolling over after it and so it would be my right hip, or just it would be my left hip lifting if I'm going to the right side, you want to come back. The pelvis really needs to stay grounded. So you only go as far as you can go whilst keeping both hips and pelvis grounded. We can kind of fool ourselves into thinking we're doing something really amazing when we get the foot to the floor. The foot doesn't need to come to the floor. Only needs to come as far as it will so that you feel a comfortable, steady stretch there for your inner thigh. Have a nice breath here, pressing through the heel. Bend the knee. And then you have this band that you can gently guide onto the inside of your inner thigh and knee as the heel comes back towards your pelvis, so that you get a little gently supported hip opener there. Hold that for a breath. And then inhale and lengthen out again. And back towards center. And as you exhale, extend out that other leg, so leg on the other side, and continue across the body. This time you can allow the hip and pelvis of the leg on the side of the body with the legs moving to come away from the floor, and your gaze is out towards the side that you came from. If you roll the palm towards the ceiling, you get that nice opening there for your arm, for your shoulder. Nice full inhalation. Nice sighing, cleansing in your twist exhalation. And then nice and slowly, we're going to bring that foot back towards the ceiling, bring your head back towards center. Hold the belt in either hand again, and with lots of control, on the exhale, extend that leg down to the floor. Bring the belt back with you, you can just release it and relax it around your belly or somewhere. Have a breath or two here, a nice full inhalation, a sighing exhalation. Relaxing your face, softening your legs, your lips, your tongue. So starting to realise over the last few days some of the challenges of home yoga if you don't live on your own and have all your space to yourself. So for those of you with kids and flatmates and partners and people coming and going, I'm starting to appreciate what it must be like to be able to get on the floor and have some quiet time. I just have 2 dogs here and it's extremely difficult. The dog is on my yoga mat and I am on the floor. So whatever about bringing kids to your practice, don't bring your dogs because they'll take over. So have a breath or two here and just notice the body has come back into alignment again. Your right and left side are more likely to feel like they're reunited and sharing the same sense of energy, the same sense of blood flow, the same sense of maybe ease, release, but also the same sense of awakening. Just take a moment or two with that. So that exercise is really powerful. If you were just to do one thing at home for the next little while, I'd recommend that because it's very beneficial. You get, and if you have a resistance band, use the resistance band instead of the belt. It actually makes it a bit more challenging, but you engage your core a little bit more. But you're working your entire body there really. You're working your thighs, you're working your hamstrings. It's a hip opener in it. There's plenty of mobilizing for the hips in both the internal and external rotation in that. You're engaging your arms, so everything from your hands all the way down to your shoulders is engaged to some extent. There's some stabilization from the shoulders, but also a slight release. And again, lengthening in the arms, which gives you a bit of a lengthening in the side body as well. So, particularly if you use the bands, but also even with this, you're engaging your core to a certain extent as well. So all of your joints, really apart from your ankles and your wrists, are getting some activation in that, and most of the muscles in the body are joining in as well. So have just a breath or two just to assimilate or to integrate some of the benefits, and then we're going to just come back to the upper body here again. So in your own time, when you're ready, you're going to take your belt again, or your band, or whatever it is that you're using. And you're going to just, if you take your arms over your body so that your fingers are in line with your shoulders, and hold the belt so that it's about shoulder distance apart. So that if you were to pull the hands away from each other, and you're not trying to get them to slide along the belt, you're trying to get them to stay where they are, the belt wouldn't be relaxed in between. There'd be tension or resistance on the band in between. And as you inhale, you're going to lengthen back with the arms, continuing to gently pull the hands apart until the hands reach the floor, or your dog, whichever you meet first. And just have a breath or two here. Notice how the shoulders want to bunch up towards the ears, and soften the shoulders away from the ears down towards the waist. And we're going to use this here to bring a little side stretch into the body, a little banana stretch. So focusing on the lower body first of all, if you bring your feet together, and then we're going to go to the right side, you walk your right foot out to the right side and let your left foot follow, but keep both of the feet relatively connected, or the ankles close to each other. So you're starting to feel a stretch into the lower part of the body. Now if you need to pull back from this, we're coming into a banana bend here. Your banana can be as curvy or it can be as straight as you want it to be. So you're not trying to make any particular shape, you're trying to feel a stretch into the side body here without anything feeling like it's going to tear or be uncomfortable. And then you're going to use the arms, you're going to use your right hand to guide your left hand over towards the right side of the body. Now it will eventually meet your ear. You could turn your head a little bit to the side towards the right side to give you a little bit more space to move to. And then bring the hands maybe a little closer together. Or you might even interlace the hands. And you're using your right hand to give the left a little stretch. So it's having you to stretch into the shape. So if you had a bolster, you could also do this across the bolster. You could have the bolster across the middle of your mat. You could lie sideways on it and come into your banana stretch that way. But because most of us don't have the props at the moment, I'm just doing the alternative variation of this. Take a nice full inhalation. And as you exhale, continuing to just hold on to that left hand. See, can you soften the left shoulder? Can you soften into the left side of the waist? And are you at the most satisfying stretch for yourself here? Or do you want to bring anything a little further to the right? Now that you've loosened up a little bit and that you've lengthened into the side body, that you've created a little bit of extra space, do you want to lengthen anything a little bit more? So I'm using my right hand to hold on to the fingers of my left arm, and I'm now starting to relax my left hand and arm a little bit. So it's almost pulling against gently. It's a gentle kind of body resistance. You're using your own body to create a resistance here. And that's giving me a nice release for the bicep and for the shoulder on the left side here. So we're going to have 3 more breaths here. Nice full inhalation. On the exhalation, sigh out. And see if there's anything that'll relax a little, that'll soften a little. And if that means that you start to slide out of your banana, that your banana starts to melt, that's absolutely fine. Take a nice full inhalation. Sigh, soften, see where that takes you. Take a nice full inhalation. Sigh, soften, see where you go. And then rolling back onto the side of the body, let the arms roll back to center. Release the hands as you exhale, maybe that'll be a sighing breath, and allow them to come around alongside the body, and just take a moment or two, a breath or two in Shavasana. And again, notice the difference between right and left side. Notice any warmth in the face, notice anything you notice in the shoulders or the side body, and I'm trusting you all not to be pulling yourself into points of overstretching, into points of over-tensing, into anything that doesn't feel good. Relax your jaw, soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Again, I'm going to turn around so that I continue to face the camera and I'm not moving away from it. You will just be doing this on the other side of your body. Take a nice long inhalation and a nice long exhalation. We'll start by taking the band or belt back into the hands. We'll take the hands apart, shoulder distance or so. Nice level of tensile resistance on the band there. Just take a moment to adjust the body so that the pelvis feels very grounded, your shoulder blades feel grounded, and then on an inhalation you're going to lengthen back here down behind you with these arms. And let the backs of the hands land wherever they land. They might meet the floor, they might be still to a certain extent in the air, just see what feels nice. You're going to start to walk your left foot out to the left side and then follow with the right, and allow the ankles or the heels or some part of the sides of the feet to remain connected, just for a sense of connection and grounding there. And then you're going to start to use your left hand to guide your right arm across the body. Stretching it out. You turn your head to the side and give you a little bit more space to use that arm, to use it before you meet your face, before your bicep meets your face. And then you can continue to either use the belt, either take the hands closer together, or you can interlace the hands. It's probably a little bit more helpful or useful to interlace the fingers as you use your left hand to gently give a little bit of leverage there for your right arm. You are not trying to pull your arm out of your socket. You are not trying to get anything to go in any particular direction. You're just trying to give a nice lengthening to the right side of your body now. And have a nice full inhalation. And sigh into it. Sigh out and soften, release out and soften there. Again, just feel how is that for you? You've been in it now for a few breaths. Do you want to take anything a little bit further towards the left side of the body? Do you want to take the left foot a little further, followed by the right? Are you absolutely fine where you are? Do you want to maybe encourage the right arm to move a little, or is it okay? Take a nice full inhalation. And now we're going to start to soften as we exhale. So particularly the arm, as you exhale, continuing to hold the right hand and the left. Relax that shoulder and let the shoulder start to move away from the jaw and the ear. And maybe relax the thigh, let the feet start to roll a little. So over your next 2 or 3 breaths, your banana starts to melt a little, starts to become a little bit more organic, starts to find its way to where it wants to be. Take a nice full inhalation, a sighing, cleansing exhalation, and then maybe nice and slowly start to roll back across the upper back. Release those hands. You can release the belt. Let the arms come out to the side, wherever they want to come, palms towards the ceiling. Backs of the hands onto the floor. Invite the legs round so that you come back into a nice neutral alignment where the toes are in line with the head. Take a nice full inhalation. And a sighing exhalation. And again, if you're repeating this at home and you have a bolster, you could have the bolster onto your hip or onto your waist. and then you banana across, as we've done before in class. So a nice breath or two here. And then normally if we were doing this in class on a bolster, I would have you like a chicken on a spit, rotating in every direction. So I'd have you turning onto your tummy next and then onto your back for your back bend and your forward bend variation of it. So I am going to invite you onto your tummy, but there won't be a bolster underneath. Now if you wanted to pop a cushion onto your pelvis, or you wanted to pop a couple of blankets under your pelvis, you could do, or you can just roll onto your tummy, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to try it here with a cushion, so I can demonstrate what you would be doing. I have one of these kind of flat IKEA cushions that roll over. You don't want anything too wide or too heavy. A pillow would do nicely as well, or even just a few rolled up blankets. But it's actually a lovely pose, even if you just lie on your tummy. If you are using this, it goes onto your hips, onto your pelvis, just to give you a little bit of a lift there. And then you can bring your arms initially alongside the body, palms facing the toes. You can bring your feet so they're about hip width apart, and let them fall anywhere they like. So my heels like to fall out, my toes like to come in. If you just want to go the other way, that's the way your legs naturally rotate. That's absolutely fine. So go wherever feels more comfortable for you. And what we're doing here is we're allowing a little bit of a lengthening in the back of the body. We can take the arms forwards. So we're completely straight here. Let the elbows rest. Don't pull them forward so much that you're pulling your shoulders up towards your chin or your ears a little bit too much. And then release down here. Take a nice full inhalation. If you need to make any accommodation for your chest, or it's worth taking a moment or two for a little wiggle to get yourself released out there. Take a few nice, long, deep, slow, full breaths here. So when we have the bolster under our hips, so we have a cushion or anything like that under our hips, it's bringing us into a very slight back bend here. So it's a lengthening of the front body. I'm going to offer you a variation on this, and what I would suggest is try it, see if it suits you. And if you prefer this version, then come back to this after about 2 or 3 breaths. If you like the alternative version, it's just a slightly deeper variation of a back bend on it. You'll be slightly deeper for the lower back. So in this version, you would come up onto your elbows, so your elbows underneath your shoulders. And if that's too strong for your lower back, you can come down a little lower into it by bringing your elbows forwards and your chest coming closer to the floor. But you've lifted your chest away from the floor here. So if you can imagine the banana analogy, you're kind of in a banana shape now in the front of the body. We have a few breaths here, or you could be like this and maybe stack one hand on top of the other and release your forehead to the tops of the hands. So go to wherever is comfortable for you. For a few breaths, relax the shoulders, whatever you're doing. Make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Make sure that you're softening them away from the ears. Relax the arms. Let everything be nice and soft. Let everything that you're holding there just let go and surrender. And if you're more in the sort of cobra version of it, where you're up in your elbows, it's like a baby cobra, you might want to play with maybe bending the knees, your heels back towards the home. There's not really any reason why you wouldn't do that actually in any of the other variations either. If you do that, what I would suggest is that you take your knees wider and let the soles of your feet come in towards each other, so that you're getting a kind of hip opener here, as well as a nice back bend and release from the shoulders. Right here. So have 3 or 4 nice long deep slow breaths here. And again, think about, is there anything that you can soften with the exhalations? Is there anything that could release, that can let go? Can you sigh out maybe? How's that feeling? So we're really stretching the body in each direction, lengthways, laterally, from right side to left side. So it's going from the shoulders all the way down past the hips. These are really nice for lengthening and releasing tension and tightness in the side bodies, but also down into the hips. And then you're kind of taking it forward with your back bend lengthens the front of the body. And kind of brings you into the top end of the banana for that. We'll take it into a forward bend in a moment. So whenever you're ready, in the next breath or two, you're going to take yourself out of this. Getting a little bit ridiculous here with dog on the floor. So you're going to take yourself out of it. You're going to take your elbows to the floor. Bend your knees and curl your toes. So curl your toes, bend your knees, and then take your toes back to the floor. Take your elbows or your hands underneath your shoulders, and you're going to lengthen yourself back up. And we're going to come towards a child's pose here. So if you're happy with the traditional child's pose, we're going to take a traditional child's pose. If that's uncomfortable for you, then the easiest variation of it. So child's pose is when we take our big toes together, we take our belly towards our thighs, and then we either take the forehead to the floor, and take the arms back behind us, which is what I recommend here, because you'll get a full release forwards and a full lengthening in your back here. When we do the extended variation, we're more stabilizing the shoulders so we don't get the full release or the banana bend for the shoulders. The nearest equivalent to that, if you don't like that for your knees, is to be on your back with the knees towards the chest and then holding on there. So you're bringing your belly towards your thighs towards your belly and your shoulders towards your knees. So that's the nearest equivalent of it. And you could just roll from side to side there. If you had a bolster, you could do a supported variation with a bolster, where you put the bolster between your thighs and release down onto it. Or you could do that with some pillows as well. So if you had some pillows and cushions handy, you could use them in lieu of a bolster, just to give you a little support for the belly. So that when you release down, you have a little bit of softness, a little bit of support there. Tucking into the cushions is a bit muffly. It's not very conducive to good teaching. So find the most comfortable variation of this that you can for you, for your body right now. You want to offer yourself that release so that we're paying equal attention to lengthening out all sides of the body. Because when we lengthen the muscles and then we move back to the kind of status quo, back to equilibrium, it's like using a resistance band where you pull apart and then you let it push together. The muscles relax and contract. And in doing that, they'll release lots of tension. Also very cleansing for the body because they're quite twisty motions, so nice for the organs. Creating space in the side body is good for the things like the liver and the spleen. And that spleen in particular is really important for our immune health. And we're all about that at the moment. So, and we also, the other thing that's nice about these stretches is they stretch into the lungs. So backwards and forwards, we're lengthening and we're holding these positions, but we're in a kind of relaxed sort of way with them. So they're giving a nice kind of stretching, openness and creating strength in the lungs there as well. So again, important benefit. 2 or 3 more breaths where you are, if you're already, if you're still in your child's pose. If you come back out into Shavasana or wherever you might have slithered into, that's fine too. And then coming from child's pose, whatever variation you're in it, if you're lying on your back, just roll over onto your right side and bring yourself to sitting in the next breath or two. From child's pose, you can just take your hands so that they're round about the ears, lengthen the arms, lengthen yourself up towards sitting, and then come to back to meet me in the center of the room. So we'll just take a moment or two, just a little bit more with this same kind of thing of lengthening in every direction. So you can come to sitting in either quick, easy cross-legged. I'll come to easy cross-legged, just not to be inappropriately pointing at the camera. And you can come to that variation either, whichever is more comfortable for you. And we're going to take the left hand to the floor, right hand to the waist, take the shoulder back, elbow back, and then lengthen that arm towards the ceiling and we'll stretch across the body. So lovely lateral stretch there. Just to finish that off, we'll take it back to center, and then the left hand to the left waist, elbow back, lengthen the arm up towards the ceiling, stretch across there. So again, these are other exercises that if you didn't do a whole lot else, they just bring a nice release, a nice sense of release to the body. We'll take our hands to our knees, whichever way your variation of legs you are. Use the hands against the knees to stabilize you so that you'll lengthen up through the spine here and you have a nice openness across your chest. And then we're going to take the right hand to the left knee. Take the left fingertips towards the ceiling. Imagine that you're opening a jar as you go around, and then that arm comes behind you. Lift and lengthen as you inhale. We're going to move in three parts for a nice safe but deep twist. So lift and lengthen as you exhale, take your navel out to the side, gazes slightly off at about 40-degree angle. Inhale, root down, rise up, and as you exhale, you're inviting your right waist to move around towards your left waist. So inviting the diaphragm in, and it's a nice bringing it right into the thoracic spine. Use the hand against the knee for leverage so that you're not collapsing forwards with that shoulder. And then on your third exhale, we're going to look round over the left shoulder. As you inhale, root down with the hand, lengthen up through the crown. And as you exhale, release back to center. Take a nice slow inhalation. Sighing exhale. And then you'll take your left hand to your right knee. Right fingertips towards the ceiling. Imagine that you're opening your imaginary jar as the arm comes behind you. So use this for leverage. So you're going to lift and lengthen. On your first exhalation, your navel comes round to the side. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Your next exhalation, you're bringing your thoracic spine into engagement. Keep this leverage with the hand and the knee as your right side and waist come round, or your left side and waist come round towards the right. And then you're going to lift and lengthen as you exhale, look over that shoulder. Take a nice slow inhalation. And as you exhale, flow it back to center. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to take a forward bend. As you exhale, release your belly towards your thighs, and you can either keep your forearms onto your shins. You'll probably need to move your ankle forwards if you're in the easy cross-legged variation, and then walking forwards with the hands. If you don't, if you're happy to keep them, if you prefer to keep them on the inner thighs, do. Otherwise, release forwards. Release your chin to your chest. So make sure that you're not sending your chest to your belly. You're sending your chest to the space between the elbows in front of you. So you imagine that you're beaming lovely compassion and loving kindness down to the earth to help it to heal itself and heal all of us. And then as you inhale, lengthen forwards, coming back up towards sitting, and we'll take our back bend into it. We'll take our lengthening forward. So come so that you release the flesh and sit bones, knees out in front of you. Take the hands back behind you, underneath the shoulders. So navel towards spine. Invite the shoulder blades back towards each other, and then lift and lengthen the sternum towards the sky. So you're not sticking out your belly. We don't want this. So we want the diaphragm moving towards the space between your thighs there. So it's a stretch here for the front of the body. Take the legs straight in front of you, and you can either hold it here, you might take the hands a fraction back, or if you want to, and this is where it's less restorative and more active, you could take a weight bearing lift into it. The hips might come slightly off the floor, they might come all the way towards the towards the ceiling, but you might just hit the hips away if you're used to doing something more like hatha yoga, but this is fine. Lovely. And then you're going to sit forwards, bring the knees towards the belly, lift and lengthen, and release forwards here again, just for 3 breaths. Chin towards chest. And as you inhale, you're going to lengthen forwards. Exhale, just releasing the hands here. So we're going to go legs up the wall, and we're going to use actual walls. So I hope you have some wall handy, or a sofa, or if not, just use your belt. We've done it before in class where you just lie down and hold the feet in the air with the belt. So you might need to bring yourself close to a wall if you don't have one. I'm going to just use my radiator shelf here. And I also model, so it doesn't have to be a wall, it could just be any surface really that will take your weight. So it wouldn't go up against your china cabinet unless it's anchored to the floor. You have enough problems at the moment, you don't want to be dealing with that. So adjust your mat. You want your mat right up to the right up. Now I'm not going to worry about the mat, but yours will be facing the wall lengthways, so that your full body is going to be supported. And then you're going to bring it doesn't matter whether it's your right or left hip, because you're not going to be worried about gazing into your neighbour's eyes here. You're going to bring your right or left hip right up against the wall, right up against your skirting board, or whatever the base of the structure, your sofa, whatever it might be, is there. You're going to roll over then with your bum up to the wall, onto your side, into a fetal position. So knees, thighs really close to the belly. You want your bum as close to the wall as possible when you come up here. And then you're simply going to roll over onto your back. And when you do, hey presto, am I still on camera? Hey presto, you are roll up against the skirting board or the wall, whatever it is, and you can lengthen your feet up against your radiator shelf, your wall, your windowsill, your children, your partners, whatever you want to use as your supports. And you have a couple of options here for the arms. So this is the sort of the baseline option. If you wanted to, and they're not too far away from you, and you wanted to get a cushion and pop it underneath your hips to give you a little bit of elevation, you could do that. We do that sometimes with the bolster. It takes you a little bit, the hips a little higher, it takes a little bit more onto your shoulders, so it gives you a nice release there. 9 times out of 10 when I give people the option, half of them will go with the bolster, half of them will go without. So it's really a matter of seeing what it is for you. 9 times out of 10 and half is a bit of a strange mathematical computation there, isn't it? And then your options for your legs when you're up here, you can keep both your legs together. Or you can reach for your belt and you could tie your legs together, tie your thighs together if you want 40 or 50 or 60, whatever we're up to at this stage, shades of yoga. You could also, if you like the inner thigh stretch, take your legs wide into a fan pose. And you can press through your heels or point your toes, whatever's more comfortable. Or you might like to come into the butterfly variation where you bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees fall out. And if you need to just make any little accommodations for your back. Now if your bum has come miles away from the wall, all that means is that your legs, rather than being kind of extended at more of a 90-degree angle, are further away. That might be what your back actually wants. That might be more comfortable for you. A little bit of a shuffling movement, or just go back to the beginning, get your bum right up against the wall, your heels right. If you're tall in that position actually, you probably need to stretch your heels away from you, because if you're tall and you have your feet against the wall, you might be pushing yourself away from it. So if you're taller than me, which is most of you, then you just take your heels away a little bit when you roll over. Your options for your arms, you can either have them out to the side in fan pose, you can have them alongside the body like you might do in Shavasana. You can bring them into a cactus pose, where you bring the elbows in line with the shoulders and the backs of the hands to the floor. Only do that if that's comfortable for your back. And then some of you are able to extend your arms back behind you and have the backs of the arms, tops of the arms fall to the floor. My curvy thoracic spine doesn't allow that to happen. And I always think it looks really nice. So that's one of my yoga envy points. But find something that's going to be comfortable for a couple of minutes here. So your Viparita Karani, your legs up the wall, is such a beneficial position. So it's really, really helpful for your immune system. Really great for stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your relaxation response. Really good for things like lymphatic drainage, which is also supports our nervous system and our immune health. It is nourishing for the brain, so we're sending the blood flow back to the brain. Your heart is having to work a little harder because it's used to sending blood downhill to your feet, and it's having to go uphill instead. And your legs are the longest, one of the longest parts of your body. And because your heart is working a little bit harder, your lungs are working a little bit harder. And we want our lungs working in a positive, healthy way at the moment as well. So just soften into it. Just let the floor, the wall, or whatever you're supporting in lieu of a wall might be, fully take your weight. Find the comfortable body position for you, for the legs and the arms. You don't really need your head supported with blankets or anything here. That's why I didn't suggest them. If you put one in, just make sure that it's not extending your chin too far forwards. You want to maintain that nice natural curving in your head. Really, really nourishing position. It's great for fatigue. It's great for any of the conditions that like chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia, or any of the ones that make us tired, or feel run down, or feel like we're not very energized. So it's a lovely thing to do in the morning, maybe in bed before you get out of bed, just if your legs up the wall, and just have a few minutes of breathing and meditation there. It's a lovely thing to do at the end of the practice. And I know, Anne, I don't think you're still with us, but one of the group members, when she was doing the Camino last year, she used to text me to say she was doing this every night after her walks, and she found it really helpful as well for the legs to have a break. It really slows down the breath, generally. You can come out of it at any time by taking your knees back to your chest. I'm not inviting you out of it yet, but if you wanted to come out, your knees coming back to your chest, and you can roll over on your side and either stay in fetal position for a while, or maybe take it from side to side, or come back into Shavasana, but otherwise we're going to stay here for a couple more minutes. And I just invite you to join in a visualization. So imagine as you're inhaling that the breath is coming in through the soles of the feet, and you're inhaling whatever colours you associate with healing energy or healing light. So it might be a white light, it might be all the colours of the rainbow, which we're seeing a lot of symbolically around at the moment. It might be whatever it is that you see. It might just be a mist, or you might just be feeling the breath as though it's coming through. And as you inhale, let that, like a waterfall, cascade down over your legs, past your hips and your thighs, all the way up to your belly. And when it gets to your belly, it pools around the belly and behind you. So the back of the body, the arms are then bathed. You can even let it trickle up to your chest. As far as you're comfortable, once it gets to the throat, we generally don't want to kind of interfere with any sense of our breath. So, and allowing this healing light with every inhalation, just to bring healing into your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. All of those other qualities that you might have identified as being helpful to you earlier on. We said your Sankhalpa this evening, and washing over you like a waterfall of cleansing, healing, lovely energy. And then the exhales, then imagine the back, the parts of the body, the back of the head, the back of your body that's connected to the earth. There's those little tiny little doors there, and they're just opening up as you exhale and releasing all of your tensions, cares, worries, concerns, mental, physical, emotional, some of the other kind of ones that we might have at the moment, like that are family or friends or health or finance or anything else, just allow your out breath to carry that away. And let that just continue for a few more breaths as you inhale that beautiful energy and light down along the legs, all through the body, washing over you, cleansing you, bathing you in healing energy, healing light, and then exhaling away the cares, the worries, the tensions, concerns, and really, again, listen to the sound of the breath as it leaves, that soothing sound, the breath as it leaves your body. You're taking one or two more breaths like that. And then sighing out and letting it go. And if there was something that you might want to come back to after the practice for a few more minutes, or maybe in the morning to start your day off, this might be a nice way to start or finish your day. But for now, in your own time, you're going to have 2 or 3 more breaths here. Or you can stay here. So you can stay here if you are in some sort of blissful heaven and comfortable and you're relaxed right now and you want to stay here for your last 10 minutes, you can do. Otherwise, you're going to take your knees to your chest, roll over onto your right side, left side if you're pregnant. Take a couple of breaths there in that sort of fetal position or whatever variation of that you find yourself in. And then you're going to bring yourself to lying for your last few minutes of relaxation in Shavasana. So for your Shavasana, you want a blanket or put on an extra layer because you will cool down a little further. If you have the bolster and blocks, you might want to prop yourself up and do something like the supported fish pose that we do at the end of class sometimes, or come into the goddess variation of it. If you have some pillows or some cushions, you can pop those under your knees, they work quite nicely as well. Or you can pop some onto your back and lots of cushions and pillows to elevate yourself, but you really need strong support there, so you don't want anything that's going to have you collapsing into it. So I would say unless you have nice firm support for your back, maybe blankets or cushions, pillows onto your knees. And you can see you can get quite a nice lift here. And you can even come to your hip opener variation, your goddess legs with this as well if you wanted to. And then come to lying on your back. So either with legs extended, up on the bolster, the butterfly pose, the goddess pose with the legs. And just allow yourself to land, allow yourself to settle. I'm going to find our friend Jack Harrison for our Shavasana. And now you just let yourself, after all of that lengthening and limbering and stretching and everything else, even though it's in a very gentle, slow way, you were still working there. Let yourself come to stillness. And in that stillness, find your breath. And in finding your breath, find the movement, the dance between the body and the breath that we explored earlier. And just let yourself drift with that, almost like you're drifting like a feather in the breeze. So maybe you're just, as you inhale, it's like being blown up into the air and drifting along. As you exhale, maybe you settle back inwards again. Whatever kind of image comes to you. Find the sound of your breath. Let your awareness find and tune in to the sound of the breath as it comes and goes. And let that soothe you, ground you. Sigh if the body wants to sigh, sigh if the heart wants to sigh. Any other emotion that presents itself, allow it. It's showing up for release. Let your breaths be nice and long, deep, slow and full. Relax your jaw. Soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing the forehead. Letting the eyebrows melt towards the temples and the temples eyebrows melt towards the tips of the ears. Relaxing your scalp, your neck, your shoulders, your arms all the way down to your fingertips. Relaxing the chest, front and back, the belly above and below the navel. Relaxing from the armpits to the waist, right and left side. And the pelvis release out, relax out, the legs release, the knees, space around behind the knees, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the heels and the feet. Relaxing all of the toes. Getting your entire being just dissolve into stillness, dissolve into quiet, and dissolve into that ebb and flow, that gentle, familiar rhythm of the breath as it moves in and moves out. If your mind wanders, notice where it's going, and then choose whether to follow it. If it's taking you to quiet, calm, happy places, maybe follow if that suits you. And if it takes you to anywhere that's just day to day, there's plenty of day-to-day time. Invite yourself back to your breath, perhaps. Choose rest, choose quiet, choose ease. Maybe start to create an internal vision for yourself at this time in particular that you can drop into. Just somewhere that's your happy place, your quiet space. And if you can imagine that, you stop during the day to have your deep breaths. Just imagine yourself in that place, breathing. And you find yourself feeling stressed. Imagine yourself in that place, breathing. And if it's an actual place where you have a picture, a physical picture, put it on your phone, have it as your screensaver, and whenever you feel stressed, look at it and breathe. It'll start to help you to develop that safe space within. So that we can move in out of the storm, we can move in out of the external busyness and events. And ground ourselves, soothe ourselves, ease ourselves. Sam Shanti, Sarve Sham, peace to all. May all beings be well, happy, free. May you be well. May you be happy and may you know peace.
Salvation Shanti Salvation Purnamada Salvation Mangalata
Allow your breath to be nice and long, deep, slow, and full. You can stay here for as long as you like. You're in your own house now. You don't have anywhere to go. You don't have anywhere else to be. You're not allowed to go anywhere else to be anywhere else. So relax there for as long as you like, for as long as it's comfortable. And when you do decide to come around, when you do decide to finish your practice this evening, wake yourself up slowly and mindfully. So little wiggles, little trickles of movement into the body, into the fingers and the toes, and let those gently and effortlessly find their way in a nice effortless way and soothing way to the joints. So the fingers lead to the elbow, wrists lead to the elbows, to the shoulders, and the toes lead to the ankles, lead to the knees, to the hips, and back to the shoulders. Give your neck a little movement from side to side. Give yourself a nice stretch. Remember the lengthening stretches that we did at the beginning, where you tip away, you lengthen, and then you close on your exhalations. Might be a nice way to come back. Or you might just stay there. Maybe you're already in your bed. I can't see you, so you might be already hiding out where you want to be. So if you tuned in live, thank you very much. And I'll be here for a few minutes once I stop recording. And then otherwise, for the rest of you, the class will be online again next week from 8:15, just because of the technological aspect of it. I just need to give it slightly longer between this and the resistance bands class that's at 6:30. So do join me if you like. The recording will be online shortly afterwards as well, and you can look at it, tune in whenever suits you during the week, as many times as you like, and try some of the other classes as well if you have some time. So have a lovely restful evening. Take care as you move back out into your day, your morning, your evening, whenever you're tuning in, and stay safe. See you next week. Thank you. Namaste.